While major developments in the fight against COVID in the country, the government's now announced that the gap between the doses of Covishield can be extended up to 16 weeks. This is a move that's been backed by the Serum Institute of India, which manufactures the Covishield vaccine in India. Now, this is the third revision in the dosing regimen for Covishield. At the same time, there are concerns now that have been raised by scientists on the Sputnik vaccine that is going on sale next week, and the WHO has raised questions on the effectiveness of the existing vaccines against the highly transmissible strain of the virus variant which has been discovered here in India, which is the B1617.
जो 2 डोसेज ओरिजिनल हैं वो हमें पहले से ही मालूम है कि वो इफेक्टिव हैं। ये सिंगल डोज के बाद भी एफिकेसी इतनी अच्छी है कि हम उसको पोस्टपोन 3 हफ्ते तक इट्स ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल। और बहुत सारे देशों में मैंने जो कहा आपको, बाकी देशों में वो अपना जो है 4 to 6 या 6 to 8 वीक्स वाला ही शेड्यूल फॉलो कर रहे हैं।
Now, this is the second time the government has increased the interval. It's presently recommended between 6 and 8 weeks. Now, the government says the move is based on real-life evidence of the efficacy of the vaccine. In fact, it's a move backed by the Serum Institute's Aahdar Poonawala, who's told us this is a very good move because this is based on data that the government received, on the basis of which they made a good scientific decision to increase the gap. Now, the medical journal Lancet seems to back the move. In a report earlier this year, Lancet said, supporting a longer interval immunization strategy, vaccine efficacy was significantly higher at 81.3% after 2 standard doses given at an interval of 12 weeks or longer. Now, the move clearly helps the government ensure that more citizens can get their first jab at a time when vaccines are in short supply, though it's still unclear when more people would actually get vaccinated at the numbers we need them. What the government says today is that between August and December, over 2 billion doses could be made available of 8 types of vaccine, including the Sputnik vaccine, which goes on sale next week. Now, we may have the vaccines, but actually administering them at the rate that needs to be done, that's a different story altogether. But that said, as far as Sputnik is concerned, there are concerns. Lancet has said, notwithstanding the previous issues and lack of transparency, the interim results from phase 3 trials of the Sputnik vaccine again raised serious concerns. Now, these allegations have been countered by Russian scientists who say clear and transparent regulatory standards exist for the provision of clinical trial data. All of this comes on a day in which the World Health Organization has raised perhaps the most important query of all: how well do the existing vaccines work on the variant of COVID called B1617, first discovered in India, now present in more than 40 countries. So the WHO says, and this is very new, preliminary laboratory studies awaiting peer review suggest a limited reduction in neutralization by antibodies. In other words, the vaccines are less effective than they were or are on the original strain for which they were designed in the first place.
स्पुतनिक वैक्सीन देश में आ गया है और आज मुझे ये कहते हुए खुशी है कि अगले हफ्ते हमें उम्मीद है कि स्पुतनिक वैक्सीन विल बी अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट। जो लिमिटेड सप्लाई पहली आई है वहाँ से एक प्रश्न आया है कि कोवैक्सीन की सप्लाई दिल्ली में बंद हो गई है। सो वी रिफ्यूट दिस दैट देयर इज एनी प्रेशर ऑन एनीबडी नॉट टू सप्लाई टू एनी पर्टिकुलर स्टेट। विनती है कि जो कंपनी कोवैक्सीन बनाना चाहती है, पहले भी कह चुके हैं, मिलके बनाइए, सरकार पूरा योगदान करेगी कि ऐसी कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज हो।
पिछले 24 घंटे में देश में 3,62,727 केस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं। यहां पर भी हम एक ट्रेंड पा रहे हैं कि देख रहे हैं कि पिछले 3 दिनों से देश में केसेस में एक प्लेटोइंग महसूस होती है। देश में पिछले 3 दिनों से ओवरऑल केस पॉजिटिविटी में कुछ कमी पाई गई, जो कि 20% से कम अब हमारे देश में ओवरऑल पॉजिटिविटी पिछले 3 दिनों में नोट की गई है।
Well, the government's announcement to increase the Covishield gap to 12 to 16 weeks comes at a time when there is a countrywide shortage of vaccines, prompting many to ask at the moment whether this is a decision that's been governed by science or by shortage.
So we are here at LNJP Hospital where vaccination is ongoing and they are giving Covishield. And we'll talk to someone who's today here getting their second dose. तो सर पहले आपका नाम बताइए।
राम प्रसाद मिश्रा।
अच्छा, आप यहाँ काम करते हैं?
मैं I7 हॉस्पिटल में जॉब करता हूँ।
अच्छा, आप हेल्थ केयर वर्कर हैं?
जी।
अच्छा, तो सर ये जो आज गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया है कि डोज शेड्यूल बदल दिया जाएगा, अब लंबा हो जाएगा।
जी।
आपका अब पहला डोज कब लगा था, अब कितना टाइम हो गया?
पहला 3 फरवरी को लगा था मैम।
अच्छा।
और मैं फिर कुछ काम से मैं गांव चला गया था, लॉकडाउन हो गया।
हाँ।
रिटर्न आया हूँ तो सेकंड डोज लेने आज आया हूँ मैं।
अच्छा।
जी।
तो आज आपका 3 महीने के आसपास हुआ होगा?
जी, 3 महीने हुए।
आपको किसी ने आज बताया कि अब अगर आप और वेट करेंगे तो बेहतर इफेक्ट होगा?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ किसी ने बताया नहीं, बट मेरे स्टाफ जो हैं उन्होंने बोला था कि सेकंड डोज जा करके ले लो आप, तो मैं इसलिए आज आया हूँ।
अच्छा।
अभी टाइम निकाल के। जी।
तो आपको क्या लगता है ये गवर्नमेंट ने क्यों कहा है कि डोज शेड्यूल बदल दिया जाए?
आई डोंट नो, इसके बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा।
इसके बारे में तो गवर्नमेंट इसलिए कह रही है कि स्टडीज़ हुई हैं कि ज़्यादा गैप देने से एफिकेसी बढ़ जाती है।
ऐसा हुआ होगा कि जैसे वैक्सीन की शॉर्टेज हो रही है तो सबको मिलना चाहिए, ठीक है, तो इसलिए हो सकता है कि टाइम पीरियड बढ़ा दिए हैं।
अच्छा, ये शॉर्टेज आपने खुद देखी होगी आसपास में?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल जी मैम, शॉर्टेज है वैक्सीन की मैम।
अच्छा, तो आपको लगता है इसकी वजह से?
मुझे तो यही लग रहा है मैम।
तो आपको क्या लगता है जो लोगों ने ऑलरेडी ले लिया है अपना दूसरा वैक्सीन, उन्हें मतलब चांस नहीं मिला ये एक्स्ट्रा वक्त लेने का, वो कैसा फील कर रहे होंगे? आप अभी और वक्त लेंगे लगाने से पहले?
मैम वैसे टाइम तो मिलता नहीं, बट मैं टाइम निकाल करके आ जाऊँ तो मैं नहीं चाहूँगा और वक्त लेने के लिए।
हाँ।
क्योंकि जब फर्स्ट ले चुका हूँ तो दूसरा तो मेरा ज़रूरी है लेना, तो मैं टाइम क्यों लूँगा।
और अब आप और वेट करेंगे तो पता किसको पता क्या
अभी मिले।
हाँ।
जी।
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच सर। So as we've understood, the people here who are here for the second dose, they still do want to get it. They are not wanting to delay any further, but because shortages are very real, and in 6 months there's no knowing whether there will be a second dose to take. So if it's available now, take it now, is what they are saying. With Azam Siddiqui, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
All right, moving on to the other big development that we're tracking, the World Health Organization in its weekly epidemiological review has focused extensively on the B1617 and its lineages that have been found here in India since October 2020. Now remember, this is a strain that has spread to over 44 countries. What the World Health Organization says is that the vaccine efficacy against the B1617 remains uncertain. It says that this is a strain that has a higher rate of transmission and a reduced susceptibility to neutralization antibodies, which means that a reinfection is potentially possible even if you have antibodies that have either been induced by a vaccine or by an infection. The potential impact of the B1617 lineages, which is the B1617 1 and the 6172 on vaccine efficacy, also remains uncertain. The World Health Organization has cited certain studies which have shown that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines too have shown reduced effectiveness against these variants first found in India. These, of course, are the latest developments according to the World Health Organization. Moving on to the big story, we're tracking from Karnataka, which, remember, has overtaken Maharashtra now to become the worst hit state by COVID. 35,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. This is actually a slight dip for Karnataka. The positivity rate is at 27.6%. As far as Bengaluru is concerned, cases have also dipped in the last 24 hours. The total vaccination in Karnataka is down significantly as vaccination for the age group of 18 to 44 has been halted, this citing a shortage in vaccine supply. Now, the government in Karnataka has said that even those who've registered and have a confirmed vaccine slot will not be able to get the vaccine, as doses will be reserved for those above the age of 45 who are waiting in line for their second dose.
The enthusiasm for the COVID-19 vaccine from those in the age group 18 to 44 has been undeniable. And it took the authorities by surprise.
When the government announced for vaccination for 45 and above, there was no so much of rush. So we thought that on the basis of that we can go ahead with the 18 to 45 people also. But as soon as the second wave, it became so much across the country, people started rushing.
And so, despite a May 1st launch by the Chief Minister of the vaccination drive in the state for the 18 to 44 age group, they are now left disappointed.
No, actually vaccination should not be stopped for anyone. 18 to 45 years vaccination should be given because society will be safe as well as home and everything will be safe, I think.
ಕೊರೋನಾಗೆ ಏನು ಏಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 18+ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 14+ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Our intention is to vaccinate everybody above 18 at the earliest. So, see, it is not so easy. 17 crore people have been vaccinated by now within a very short time.
Sir, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ನಾಳೆ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟೇ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೆನಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ?
Vaccines continue to be a challenge in Karnataka. With demand far outstripping the supply, it is still a challenge for people to get their shots, whether second doses for the older group or the first dose for those in the age group 18 to 44.
And with vaccination being considered one of the best ways to reduce infections and fatalities, the fact that those who want vaccines in the worst hit state in India can't always get them is a matter of deep concern. With DM Kumar, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Well, on to the other big story that we're tracking. Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has in fact asked the Speaker for permission to hold virtual meetings of the Public Accounts Committee to look into reports of the ICMR as well as the Health Ministry regarding examining the vaccine policy of the country. Sunil Prabhu joins us for the very latest. Sunil, what more can you tell us about this letter?
Well, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who's the leader of opposition, leader of the Congress party, because there's no leader of opposition now, is really one among the many. He joins along with Mr. Karge, who's the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Derek O'Brien, and I think cutting across party lines, everybody wants standing committees, parliamentary committees to meet. The two people who are objecting and really are the Vice President of India, the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, as well as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. They are the ones who have to take a decision about holding virtual meetings. The point political parties as well as parliamentarians are making is that if you can hold cabinet meetings, cabinet committee on security meetings through virtual mode, what is the problem in holding meetings for members of parliament to discuss policy? Here you have a case of the vaccine policy that they want to, threadbare have a look at. There are other issues, for example, various parliamentary committees on health, where you have had the standing committees as well as no less than Sonia Gandhi pointing out what is the action taken report, because they had come out very clearly about the lack of oxygen supply, the need to ensure that there's a life-saving drugs and a whole host of measures which were found wanting in May and April. And it's in this backdrop that clearly the political chorus is joining and putting pressure on the two presiding officers of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha to allow meetings virtually, because if you don't allow it, you will allow one wing of the government, of the legislature, not to be functional. Because clearly, if you understand, if the courts are functioning, if the executive is functioning, the legislature world over, be it in United States, be it in UK, they all are functioning through whatever mode. And in India, which is the largest democracy, if we are not able to have an important parliamentary committee to function, it will be a sad reflection on the polity of our country.
All right, appreciate you joining us with the very latest, Sunil. We'll keep a close watch on those developments. Meanwhile, the government of India has come out and defended the Made in India ventilators. The clinical validation of Made in India ventilators was established, says the government. There are 7 states that have 50+ ventilators that are lying uninstalled. Many Punjab hospitals are not following the usage norms, so the government there has shifted the blame squarely on the state, saying that reliable performance of these ventilators is established if they are operated properly. Inapt gas pressure in the Faridkot hospital pipelines has been cited as the reason for these ventilators to lie idle. All right, let's now shift our focus and get you the very latest from the national capital, where there has been a steady decline in the daily number of cases. In fact, in the last 24 hours, Delhi's reported just over 10,000 cases. 308 deaths have been reported in this period. The positivity rate, even though still high, is down significantly to 14.2%. 73,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. Nearly 59,000 of those were RT-PCR tests. However, the worrying story that's playing out in Delhi is that there is no Covaxin vaccine that is available now for a second day in a row. Covishield doses, according to the Government of India, will also last just another 8 days. Manish Sisodia has said that Delhi is now in a position where it can actually supply surplus medical oxygen to other states, as Delhi's own demand has fallen significantly.
पॉजिटिविटी रेट 14% आ चुका है और मरीजों की संख्या, डेली जो मरीज आ रहे हैं उनकी संख्या भी आज घट के 10,400 के करीब रह गई है। जिम्मेदार सरकार होने के नाते हमने केंद्र सरकार को इन्फॉर्म कर दिया है कि दिल्ली की ऑक्सीजन की नीड अब कैलकुलेट होके 582 मीट्रिक टन पे आ गई है। तो जो ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत अन्य राज्यों को है उनको भी इसमें से बाकी ऑक्सीजन दी जा सकती है।
Now here's a disturbing story of a 5-month-old newborn baby girl named Pari who died of COVID last evening. She was cremated at the old Seemapuri crematorium. Here's the full story.
छोटी सी 5 महीने की बच्ची जो परी ही थी और नाम भी परी था, इस शमशान घाट में लाई गई है आज संस्कार के लिए। इससे ज्यादा दुख की बात भी हो सकती है।
Prahlad has bid his last goodbye to his baby girl, Pari, just 150 days into this world. Pari was just 5 months old and COVID positive. She spent the last 6 days on the ventilator battling for her life. The family did everything in their capacity to save her, including her uncle who donated his blood.
उसे ब्लड की कमी थी तो ब्लड मैंने खुद अपना ब्लड उसे चढ़वाया था और ए प्लस क्या कहते हैं उसको ब्लड दे करके आया था मैं 100 ml ब्लड चढ़ा था उसका।
Social worker Jitendra Singh Shanti, who has been helping families perform last rites, cremated her. He said he hadn't seen anything like this before.
इस बच्ची ने कल हमारे शमशान घाट में सबको रुला दिया। मुझे लगता है ये बच्चों में वायरस का आना बहुत खतरनाक है और कोई इलाज ना मिल पाना उससे ज़्यादा खतरनाक है। मैंने कल उनको जब शक्ल दिखाई दी वाकई परी थी उनकी।
Pari's father says the virus was so severe it damaged her lungs. The family is inconsolable. Their 3-year-old son keeps asking for a video call with his sister.
The virus is truly more dangerous to young India now. Many experts, doctors have said this repeatedly. What could be more painful than the news of a father cremating his 5 months newborn baby girl? With camera person Sushil Rathi in Delhi, Shanakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
Short break here. We'll be back with more news on the other side. All right, welcome back. On to the disturbing story that we are tracking from Goa. What we're learning is that the Goa bench of the Bombay High Court has now said that on the wee hours of Thursday, there were 15 patients who died at the Goa Medical College. The Goa government has now appointed an inquiry committee to look into the issue of oxygen supply at the Goa Medical College and Hospital. This is a committee that will now ascertain the adequacies of oxygen supply to the Goa Medical College to ascertain the efficiency of the oxygen supply chain. It is extremely worrying to note that there have been 15 more deaths that are being reported from the Goa Medical College as a result of the shortage of medical oxygen supply. We fail to save lives. We say sorry. This is what the Goa bench of the Bombay High Court has in fact said. Meanwhile, these are pictures that have been sent by patients describing the condition at the Goa Medical College. Take a look.
Odd number 147, 27 bed number. तसेच आयज पळय 23 वॉर्ड नंबर 23 बेडांतलो अशें एक सकाळी बरें आसलेले पेशंट आयज सडनली 12 ऑक्सिजन तांकां कमी जाता आनी कित्या खातीर आनी कितें कोण जाणा टोटल अशे 6-7 जाण एकेच फावटी हांगासर डेथ जाले. सरकार कशा पद्दतीन ऑक्सिजन आसा म्हणून सांगता आनी सगळ्या लोकांच्या जिवाचेर खेळटा. आयज कोवीड पेशंट कितलेशे 147 आयज कोवीड पेशंट पळयात कशे हांगासर पळयात कशे तळमळटात आनी हो सरकार सगळ्याक सांगता की सगळे सारके सुरक्षीत चल्ला म्हणून. तुमी पळयात कशी परिस्थिती आयज ह्या वार्डान चल्ल्या ती.
All right, we have with us Pramod Acharya, the editor-in-chief of Prudent Media in Goa. Mr. Acharya, those are worrying pictures that we've put out, and what's also extremely alarming is the fact that in court it has now been established that 15 more lives have been lost, and this too as a result of the shortage of medical oxygen. What more can you tell us?
It's a fact, and it came to such a level that High Court of Bombay at Goa had to apologize to the people of Goa that in spite of conducting such extensive hearings, they could not save lives. And the numbers that we are getting, officially, unofficially, is in last 3 days, we are still awaiting the figures for today, last night. But if you take the figures of previous 3 nights between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., so the figures are 26, 21 and 15. So that's the enormity of it, and there are two problems here. One definitely is the problem of quantity, the supply and demand that is required and the shortfall between that. The second problem, what is happening at Goa Medical College, is a logistical problem. The system is very archaic, and that's why when the cylinders get over, the shift over time to change the cylinders is close to more than 30 minutes. That is what the Goa Medical College has admitted before the High Court also. So when this 30-minute gap occurs every night, that is the time the critical patients, the oxygen level goes down, and those critical patients who are on ventilator, they suddenly start gasping for air, and that is where the casualties are taking place. So and the explanations given before the High Court, why High Court bench of the High Court is very frustrated today, is because the explanations given to the High Court are like, we don't have the tractor drivers to bring enough oxygen. We have quantity in Goa Medical College, but the oxygen is not reaching to the patients. So that's the kind of and the logistical issues that are being told there. That's why the High Court is frustrated. One more fact is a complete lack of application of mind and lack of administrative acumen. To reduce this shift over time, the government told the High Court.
Mr. Acharya, one understands that this is a logistical nightmare, but I want to just understand from you, In this last 1 week, how many lives in Goa have actually been lost as a result of this logistical failure of the government?
The logistical, if you take the logistical failure, now all these figures have started coming out between of those 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. after High Court intervened in the matter. But we know, because every night after midnight, media persons, bureaucrats, politicians, everybody starts getting calls from these wards telling that the oxygen levels are dropping. And this is happening at least from last 8 to 10 days. So till High Court intervened, nobody was applying their mind on how to give solutions for this and save lives. So if you ask me, last 3 days, the official data of last 3 days says that more than 60 lives have been lost, almost 66 lives have been lost. This is the data of last 6 days. Now, if you extrapolate it for last 8 to 10 days, the figure is shocking. And we all know that because of the technical problem, the shift over time, deaths are happening. And relatives of the patients are shooting those very, very distressing videos and sending it out.
Well, absolutely. It's distressing images and absolutely horrific details, Pramod Acharya, what you're sharing with us at the moment about the situation, the COVID situation in Goa. We're going to keep a close watch on that story. Appreciate you for joining us with the very latest. Short break here. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Welcome back. On to the other big story that we are tracking. The White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, in an exclusive interview to ANI on Thursday, has said that India needs to dramatically ramp up COVID-19 vaccination drive, and that is the key to ending the crisis in India, and extending the gap between the 2 doses of Covishield is a reasonable approach, according to him.
I would not refer to it as a cover-up. When you don't have enough vaccines, what you've got to do is try to get as many people vaccinated as you possibly can. And for that reason, when you have a shortage of vaccine, extending the duration between the first and the second dose in order to get more people to at least get a first dose is a reasonable approach. The fact that you delay it that long, it is very unlikely that it would have a negative effect on the efficacy of the vaccine. So in many respects, when you are in a very difficult situation, the way you are in India, you have to try and figure out ways to get as many vaccines into people as quickly as you can. So that, I believe, is a reasonable approach to do. I wouldn't call that a cover-up at all. The reports that I've heard about the Sputnik is that it seems to be quite efficacious, at a high level, close to 90% or so. But I don't have enough information on the COVAX to really say anything that would be helpful.
All right, moving on to the other big development that we're tracking. There is a very grim situation playing out on Delhi's borders in villages of Ghaziabad, for instance. The COVID-19 situation is bad. There is barely any testing, no supply of medical oxygen. People in the rural periphery of the National Capital Region are suffering because of the lack of proper treatment. There are several villages that have turned into containment zones. Here's the full story.
बहुत कालाबाजारी, बहुत बुरा हाल. अगर शायद टाइम पे मेरे भाई को ये चीज मिल जाती तो वो बच जाता.
In Ghaziabad Sikri Kala village, Umesh Sharma lost his 34-year-old brother to COVID last week. They did the rounds of hospitals, struggled to get an oxygen bed, and when finally they got admission in a hospital, it was too late.
Helpless, बिल्कुल. कोई कहीं से कोई भी मदद हमें मिल ऐसा है, बिल्कुल ऐसा ही महसूस हो रहा है हमें. हमारी हिम्मत चली गई. सरकार फेल है. सरकार किसी की कोई मदद नहीं कर पा रही इसमें. इस कागजों में सब बता देते हैं, सब चीज ठीक है. कुछ ठीक नहीं है. मेरे गांव का, मेरे क्षेत्र का सारा, मेरे अपने 3-4 पड़ोसी गांव में रोज 2-3 मौत डेली हो रही हैं.
कहीं कुछ नहीं मिल पा रहा।
40 kilometers from the national capital, in Ghaziabad Sikri Kala village, the village headman shows us a list of 14 people who have died due to COVID.
सर हालात बहुत गंभीर है, काफ़ी गंभीर है और भय का माहौल बहुत ज़्यादा। 14 मौत हो चुके हैं और कम से कम काफ़ी लोग बुखार से जूझ रहे हैं। जो लक्षण कैरोनों बताए जा रहे हैं, खांसी जुकाम बुखार, सबके अंदर वही लक्षण है। ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर नहीं मिल पा रही, कोई अर्जेंट बीमार हो जाए, सिलेंडर की जरूरत पड़ जाए, मिल नहीं पा रहा है। कहीं मिल भी गया तो नहीं, खाली सिलेंडर, खाली कहाँ से लाएं जी।
Close to Sikri Kala in Mohammadpur Qadim village, in the past 10 days, there has been one death every day. The village Pradhan has written to the district collector asking for testing and medicines in the village. But so far, a team from the health department is yet to arrive.
हमारे गांव के हालात थोड़े क्रिटिकल हैं, थोड़े से जो है दिक्कत बहुत ज़्यादा चल रही है गांव में।
कितनी मौतें हुई हैं पिछले अगर 10 दिन में बात करें आपके यहाँ? तो
पिछले 10 दिन में करीबन 9 मौतें हमारे यहाँ हुई है।
तो आपने क्या डीएम को सूचित किया है?
हाँ, डीएम को मेरे बड़े भाई हैं, उन्होंने जो है मेल भेजी हुई है।
क्या मेल में क्या लिखा हुआ?
मेल में लिखा हुआ है कि हमारे यहाँ ऐसे ऐसे प्रॉब्लम है और एक डॉक्टर की जो है टीम भेज के यहाँ पे चेकअप कराया जाए।
क्या बुखार की भी पैरासिटामोल भी दी है आपको?
नहीं, कोई दवाई की प्रशासन की तरफ से मेरे पास तक अभी कोई दवाई नहीं आई है।
Ghaziabad's Modi Nagar has a population of about 3 lakhs and not even one COVID center. The Member of Parliament from here had declared on the 7th of May that the ESI hospital would be a COVID center. But so far, apart from a few stray dogs, there is no activity here.
ना है लाइट है ना पानी है। आपके सामने जैसा कि डॉक्टर साहब या जो स्टाफ नर्स हैं वो बता रही हैं कि यहाँ हम लोगों के लिए पीने तक को पानी नहीं है, तो हम कहाँ से मरीज को भी गर्म पानी दे देंगे? कोई ऑक्सीजन के सिलेंडर नहीं है, लाइट ही नहीं है पहली बात तो।
Such is the situation in villages in this area that people have to travel 25 kilometers for treatment. And at the district headquarters, Ghaziabad too, there are no oxygen beds available. With Saurav Shukla in Ghaziabad, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Well, just days after dead bodies of suspected COVID patients were spotted floating in the Ganga River in Bihar and eastern Uttar Pradesh, there are fresh reports now emerging of multiple bodies that have been found buried in the sand at 2 locations by the same river in Uttar Pradesh's Unnao district, which is 40 kilometers from the state capital of Lucknow.
The UP government taking stock 24 hours after these bodies, allegedly of COVID patients, were found buried in the sand by the Ganga River in Unnao, just 40 kilometers from capital Lucknow. Reports from the area suggest a shortage of wood for funeral pyres could be why corpses are being abandoned in this manner. The images just days after dead bodies of suspected COVID patients were spotted floating on the Ganga River in eastern UP and in Bihar.
जो लाशें हैं वो कोरोना की लाशें हैं, कोरोना से खत्म हुए लोगों की लाशें हैं जिनको ट्रेस नहीं किया गया। तो ऐसा कुछ वाकया क्या सामने आया?
नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है और ऐसी कोई जानकारी भी नहीं है।
Unnao currently has a little less than 2,000 active COVID cases. Data released by the state government also suggests that since the beginning of the pandemic, around 170 people have died in the district from the infection. But evidence from the ground across rural UP suggests things are much worse. In Unnao, more headaches for the government. 14 government doctors in charge of rural hospitals in the district resigned from their posts last evening, saying they are being made the scapegoats for the rise in COVID infections in the district.
सामूहिक इस्तीफा देने का वजह क्या? वजह यही है कि हमें काम करने के बाद भी बार बार हमें ये सिद्ध कराया जा रहा है कि शायद हम लोग काम नहीं कर रहे और हमारे काम ना करने की वजह से कोविड संक्रमण जो है वो नियंत्रण के बाहर हो।
A top government official in Unnao has now said that things have been sorted out.
सीएमओ साहब ने वार्ता की है और अन्य हमारे जो एसीएमओज हैं उन्होंने भी वार्ता की है और शीघ्र ही समस्या का समाधान कर लिया जाएगा। वो सब हमारी टीम के लोग हैं और कहीं बाहर के नहीं हैं। हम लोग वार्ता करके उनके अगर कोई समस्याएं हैं तो उसको हम लोग दूर भी करेंगे।
But is the pandemic going out of hand in UP's rural areas? With Gaurav Sharma in Unnao, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And on to the other big development we're tracking from Bihar. Now, even as the Bihar government has extended the COVID-19 lockdown till the 25th of May, it is claiming all is well with the number of positive cases actually going down. However, a ground report reveals a different story. Most villages are reporting an abnormal hike in the number of deaths due to COVID-like symptoms. Here's the report.
पहले शुरू में बुखार आया, बुखार आने के बाद खांसी हुआ, खांसी के बाद गला में कफ छिकने लगा, उसके बाद उनकी मृत्यु हो गई। कोरोना का टेस्ट हुआ था लेकिन हम लोगों ने कागज नहीं लिया, जल्दीबाजी में उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, इसलिए हम लोग वहाँ से निकल गए।
दूसरा खुराक क्या हुआ कि लिए, इसके बाद बुखार आया, इसके बाद हार्ट का मरीज रहे थे और शुगर का। हॉस्पिटल में सरकारी गए, उन्होंने सुई दे दिया, इसके बाद 1-2 दिन जिए, इसके बाद मृत्यु हो गई।
At this Bamhor Khas village in Kaimur district of Bihar, at least 34 people have lost their lives in the last 25 days. Villagers claim most of those who died had corona-like symptoms, but were tested initially for malaria and typhoid.
फर्स्ट में मुझे मलेरिया हुआ, इसके बाद टाइफाइड हो गया था, टाइफाइड से फिर कोविड का शिकायत आ गया था।
अच्छा, फिर कैसे?
फिर यहाँ पे बेहोश हो गया मैं, फिर मोहनिया गया तो वहाँ ऑक्सीजन वगैरह लगा, 36 घंटे रहा था, इसके बाद रिकवर होने के बाद आया वापस।
Villagers say some could not survive the medicine given for typhoid. They claim that due to lack of testing in most of cases, COVID is not established as the reason of death.
इतना कम समय में इतना मौत कभी नहीं हुआ था, पहली बार हुआ ऐसा। हाँ, हम लोग मानते हैं कि कोरोना के कारण ही है।
According to locals, around 70% of the population in this village is sick, but the administration denies this claim.
The state government is yet to acknowledge the severity of the issue and people are left to fend for themselves. In Kaimur with cameraman Habib Ali, this is Manish Kumar for NDTV.
All right, moving on to Rajasthan now, where coronavirus is spreading rapidly in the rural areas of Rajasthan as well. 18 out of the 33 districts have a positivity rate of more than 7%. 40% cases are being reported from rural areas. Many deaths are also being reported from rural areas. What's worse is that there is an acute shortage of vaccination to conduct vaccination drives in the rural areas, and the age group of 18 to 44 still not receiving adequate doses.
2 patients on a bed. Scenes from Rajasthan's westernmost district, Barmer. At the emergency ward in the district hospital, doctors say they have no choice. As people get discharged, they shift the patients to wards. Until then, many can be seen sharing hospital beds.
जो ज़्यादा सीरियस होता है उसको पहले शिफ्ट करते हैं वार्ड। अपने पास ऑक्सीजन है और ऑलमोस्ट मेडिसिन भी है, अगर एक एनाफेप्रिन को छोड़ दे तो बाकी मेडिसिन भी हमारे पास उपलब्ध है।
Rajasthan has an average positivity rate of 8%. Of these, districts like Bara with a 12% positivity rate and Jodhpur with over 11% are a cause for worry. Scenes like this from a health center in Jhalawad at 10:30 at night. A sign that the health infrastructure is giving up. In this visual, Ratan Lal Meghwal being given oxygen by his own family as they frantically call out for a doctor at the primary health center.
लगा बेटा, लगा जल्दी से लगा। पिछले दौर में ग्रामीण इलाका छूता था, नौजवान पीढ़ी छूती थी, अब ये ग्रामीण इलाकों में फैला है इस बार, और यही सबसे बड़ी चिंता की बात है। अगर संक्रमण की दर जो कि आज 8% से ज़्यादा हुई है, हम देश के पहले 5 राज्यों में हैं जहां एक्टिव केसेस की संख्या 2 लाख पार कर गई है, ये हमारे लिए चिंता की बात है।
Village people say there are many more homes with corona-like symptoms, but not everybody is seeking treatment. With the result, they are not showing up in the official count.
अगर हमारी हेल्थ खराब हो जाए या इमरजेंसी के लिए जाना पड़े तो हमें कम से कम 15 किलोमीटर दूर तक हमें जाना पड़ता है। हमारे आसपास कोई हॉस्पिटल, कोई सुविधा ऐसी कुछ भी नहीं है। अभी 5 लोगों को तो पॉजिटिव आ चुका है और ऐसा हर 2-3 घर में ऐसा लगता है कि हर किसी का जुकाम, खांसी, बुखार ये सब ग्रस्त है, और जो भी लोग हैं वो टैबलेटों से काम चला रहे हैं और अपने घर रह रहे हैं।
Vaccinations are in short supply and the camps being held in villages earlier are now at a standstill.
दूसरा वैक्सीनेशन लगा ही नहीं, जबकि वो टाइम से लगना चाहिए था। वैक्सीनेशन आया ही नहीं। मैंने दोबारा
एनएम से भी संपर्क किया तो बोला अभी वो वैक्सीनेशन आई नहीं है।
समस्या तो वही काफ़ी लोगों को मालूम भी नहीं है इस रजिस्ट्रेशन का मामला में, वही क्या होता है, और पढ़े लिखे भी कम ही है गाँव में, और जो पीछे वाले जो पीढ़ी है, जो युवा लड़का, उनको कम मालूम है इस चीज़ों की। और पुराना जो लोग हैं इनके पास नहीं तो ऐसा कोई मोबाइल है, नहीं ऐसी कोई चीज़ें जो उनको मालूम पड़े।
The worry now, 40% of deaths being reported in Rajasthan are also from districts or of rural patients. With Kanhaiya Lal Dalora in Barmer and Arif Mansoori in Jhalawar, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Well, the UPSC has postponed the Civil Services preliminary exam, which was to be scheduled to be held on the 27th of June in view of the COVID-19 situation in the country. The exam will now be held on the 10th of October. This is what the UPSC said. The Commission conducts Civil Services examination annually in 3 stages: preliminary, main and interview, to select officers of IAS, IFS and IPS, among others. Now, amid heavy criticism for the massive spending on the Central Vista beautification project, the Congress has scored a point as the Chhattisgarh government has decided to stop all major construction projects, including scrapping the new assembly plan after the BJP taunt over Central Vista. Tenders worth over 245 crore for the new assembly in Chhattisgarh have now been cancelled. The construction of the new Governor's House, the Chief Minister's residence at Nawa Raipur, have been stopped. All construction works in Nawa Raipur have been stopped with immediate effect. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister has said that citizens are priority. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. Up next, we'll get you all the top stories from around the world. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning India. There are major developments that have taken place in the country as far as the vaccine program is concerned. The government has now announced that the gap between the 2 doses of Covishield has been extended from previous 6 to 8 weeks to up to 12 to 16 weeks now. This is a move that's been backed by the Serum Institute, which manufactures Covishield in India. Now, it is a 3rd revision in the dosing gap for Covishield, raising many questions at the moment. At the same time, there are concerns that have been raised by scientists on the Sputnik vaccine that is going to be available in India from next week. The World Health Organization has also raised concerns over the efficacy of the vaccine against the B1617 variant. They've called it a highly transmissible strain that first originated in India, and they say that vaccine efficacy against this new strain remains uncertain.
जो 2 डोसेज ओरिजिनल हैं वो हमें पहले से ही मालूम है कि वो इफेक्टिव हैं। ये सिंगल डोज के बाद भी एफिकेसी इतनी अच्छी है कि हम उसको पोस्टपोन 3 हफ्ते तक, इट्स ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल। और बहुत सारे देशों में, मैंने जो कहा आपको, बाकी देशों में वो अपना जो है 4 to 6 या 6 to 8 वीक्स वाला ही शेड्यूल फॉलो कर रहे हैं।
Now, this is the second time the government has increased the interval. It's presently recommended between 6 and 8 weeks. Now, the government says the move is based on real-life evidence of the efficacy of the vaccine. In fact, it's a move backed by the Serum Institute's Aadir Poonawala, who's told us this is a very good move because this is based on data that the government received, on the basis of which they made a good scientific decision to increase the gap. Now, the medical journal Lancet seems to back the move. In a report earlier this year, Lancet said, supporting a longer interval immunization strategy, vaccine efficacy was significantly higher at 81.3% after 2 standard doses given at an interval of 12 weeks or longer. Now, the move clearly helps the government ensure that more citizens can get their first jab at a time when vaccines are in short supply, though it's still unclear when more people would actually get vaccinated at the numbers we need them. What the government says today is that between August and December, over 2 billion doses could be made available of 8 types of vaccine, including the Sputnik vaccine, which goes on sale next week. Now, we may have the vaccines, but actually administering them at the rate that needs to be done, that's a different story altogether. But that said, as far as Sputnik is concerned, there are concerns. Lancet has said, notwithstanding the previous issues and lack of transparency, the interim results from phase 3 trials of the Sputnik vaccine again raised serious concerns. Now, these allegations have been countered by Russian scientists who say clear and transparent regulatory standards exist for the provision of clinical trial data. All of this comes on a day in which the World Health Organization has raised perhaps the most important query of all. How well do the existing vaccines work on the variant of COVID called B1617, first discovered in India, now present in more than 40 countries? So the WHO says, and this is very new, preliminary laboratory studies awaiting peer review suggest a limited reduction in neutralization by antibodies. In other words, the vaccines are less effective than they were or are on the original strain for which they were designed in the first place.
स्पुतनिक वैक्सीन देश में आ गया है और आज मुझे ये कहते हुए खुशी है कि अगले हफ्ते हमें उम्मीद है कि स्पुतनिक वैक्सीन विल बी अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट। जो लिमिटेड सप्लाई पहली आई है वहाँ से एक प्रश्न आया है कि कोवैक्सीन की सप्लाई दिल्ली में बंद हो गई है। सो वी रिफ्यूट दिस दैट देयर इज एनी प्रेशर ऑन एनीबडी नॉट टू सप्लाई टू एनी पर्टिकुलर स्टेट। विनती है कि जो कंपनी कोवैक्सीन बनाना चाहती है, पहले भी कह चुके हैं, मिलकर बनाइए, सरकार पूरा योगदान करेगी कि ऐसी कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज हो।
पिछले 24 घंटे में देश में 3,62,727 केस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं। यहाँ पर भी हम एक ट्रेंड पा रहे हैं कि देख रहे हैं कि पिछले 3 दिनों से देश में केसेस में एक प्लेटोइंग महसूस होती है। देश में पिछले 3 दिनों से ओवरऑल केस पॉजिटिविटी में कुछ कमी पाई गई, जो कि 20% से कम अब हमारे देश में ओवरऑल पॉजिटिविटी पिछले 3 दिनों में नोट की गई है।
All right, moving on to the other big significant development reacting to the increase in dosing regimen. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the top infectious disease expert in the United States, says this is a reasonable move given the shortage of vaccines here in India. He also said that dramatically ramping up COVID-19 vaccination drive is key to ending the COVID crisis in India.
I would not refer to it as a cover-up. When you don't have enough vaccines, what you've got to do is try to get as many people vaccinated as you possibly can. And for that reason, when you have a shortage of vaccine, extending the duration between the first and the second dose in order to get more people to at least get a first dose is a reasonable approach. The fact that you delay it that long, it is very unlikely that it would have a negative effect on the efficacy of the vaccine. So in many respects, when you are in a very difficult situation, the way you are in India, you have to try and figure out ways to get as many vaccines into people as quickly as you can. So that, I believe, is a reasonable approach to do. I wouldn't call that a cover-up at all. The reports that I've heard about the Sputnik is that it seems to be quite efficacious, at a high level, close to 90% or so. But I don't have enough information on the COVAX to really say anything that would be helpful.
The World Health Organization, in its weekly epidemiological review, has focused extensively on the B1617 variant of COVID first found in India and its lineages. Now, this is a variant, remember, that was discovered in India first in October 2020. It's now being found in 44 countries around the world. The World Health Organization says that the vaccine efficacy against the B1617 remains uncertain at the moment. The World Health Organization has also said that this is a variant which has a higher rate of transmission and a reduced susceptibility to neutralization antibodies, which means a potential reinfection, even if you have antibodies, is possible with the new variant. The potential impact of lineages of this variant, so the B1617.1 and the 6172 on vaccine efficacy also remains uncertain. They have cited certain studies which suggest that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have also shown reduced effectiveness against this variant. So that's the latest as far as the World Health Organization is concerned. Now moving on to another study from the New Public Health England, the PHE. This is an analysis that indicates that COVID-19 vaccination program actually prevented 11,700 deaths in those aged 60 and older in England. And for the first time, this analysis also suggests that at least 33,000 hospitalizations were prevented in those above the age of 65 in England in this particular time period. They are looking at the time period up to the end of April. So the data was presented as a result of people receiving their first dose of the vaccine. This is an important study that highlights that the vaccines are indeed working. Well, let's shift our focus now to the big story that we are tracking from Varanasi. Now, there are more bodies that have been found floating in the river Ganga in Uttar Pradesh on Thursday, this time in Varanasi, which, remember, is the Prime Minister's constituencies. The disturbing bit of this story is that some of these bodies were half burnt and then they washed up on the banks of the river, possibly being pulled off piers and thrown into the river. Bodies have been floating in the river or washing up on the banks of towns in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar with disturbing regularity in the country's COVID crisis. When the Varanasi police was alerted, there were excavators who were sent to the spot. The bodies were pulled out of the river and buried. The police has also increased patrolling on the banks of the river to check the dumping of corpses in the river. On Wednesday, multiple bodies were found buried in sand at 2 locations by the banks of the Ganga in Uttar Pradesh's Unnao district, which is just 40 kilometers from the national capital. Similar stories being reported from Bihar. All right, we will keep a close watch on those developments. We are being joined by a panel of expert doctors to make sense of India's fight against COVID. We have Dr. Pradesh Mohan, General Physician of the Vijaya Group of Hospitals, joining us from Chennai. Thanks so much, Doctor, for sparing your time. We also have Dr. Harshvardhan Puri, Senior Consultant Chest Surgeon at the Medanta Medicity Hospital, joining us from Gurugram. I want to begin, Dr. Puri, by asking you at the moment first about the big question on the dosing regimen. Now, as far as Covishield is concerned, the second dose of Covishield can be given 12 to 16 weeks after the first dose. Many viewers now asking questions on what happens to those who have scheduled appointments.
Good morning and Eid Mubarak to all your viewers. Now see, this regimen which has been changed or changed for betterment, I will say. There is a sense behind it because we all know that we have a vaccine shortage. So it would be prudent to vaccinate almost the last man standing in the country. And for that, you need to increase the dosage between the 2 vaccines. It was previously also suggested by Adar Poonawala and most of the studies backing it. We have seen that the efficacy of these vaccines, if given at least 2.5 to 3 months apart, will be higher than what was suggested in the first wave, that first phase, that it should be given 4 weeks apart.
Right.
So the efficacy is increasing. It is backed by a scientific data. The other development which took place
Yes. Please go ahead. Finish your point.
The other development which took place yesterday was that the Indian government told that whosoever had an infection by COVID should wait for 6 months to get the next jab of the thing. Now this raises a question because the studies which we have shows the efficacy or the antibodies level to be peaking about 3 months. We don't have data more than 3 months. So this raises a question. So what we suggest is to get an antibody test after 3 months, and if the antibodies are lower, then the person should go for a vaccination.
All right, that's very interesting and a very important point that Dr. Puri raises, that as far as the dosing regimen is concerned, this is backed by science. But as far as those who have been infected with COVID, the government now recommending that they should get the jab after 6 months. What Dr. Puri is suggesting is get an antibody test done after 3 months. And if you don't have antibodies, then perhaps you should go for the vaccination. Let me also get in a perspective from Dr. Mohan. Dr. Mohan, there are many who have questions on what happens to those who have already received 2 jabs of Covishield based on the previous dosing regimen. Are they now at a disadvantage? And, this is worrying because this also includes the elderly, the most vulnerable population, and frontline and healthcare workers.
So at the outset, I would like to say that a vaccine doesn't mean that, if you have got your 2 doses of vaccine, doesn't mean that there is you won't get the COVID infection again, or doesn't mean that you are entirely immune. What everybody is trying to say is that even if you are being attacked by the virus again, the death rate or the efficacy of that virus on your body is going to be low. So vaccinating or not, or if you're vaccinated already, doesn't mean that it is a disadvantage for you, or like the antibodies that is going to be produced is going to change or for anything on that matter. So I don't need that there is a need for people to panic, those who have taken the 2 doses of vaccine, because with respect to COVID virus, everything is new to everyone, right from an intern to a senior consultant. The entire COVID perspective is very new to the world, and I think it is better to let people stay in their own limits and let the government and the doctors and the scientists to decide what is to be followed, so that there is less panic in this chaotic situation.
Well, I think, you raise an important point, and let me bring in Dr. Kaushal Verma, professor at AIIMS Delhi as well. Professor Verma, this decision may be driven by vaccine shortage, and even Dr. Anthony Fauci in an interview to ANI has said that this is a good decision given the vaccine shortage in India. But look at it from the point of view of the general public. This is for the 3rd time that a policy has been revised.
The policy revisions also depend on the evidence that we get over the period of time since the beginning of vaccination that we started sometime in December. Now the data has come, which shows that yes, the immunogenicity is there. It is good also at a certain period of time. You will remember that yes, since the data is evolving and it has evolved over the period of time, now the evidence has come that yes, the immunogenicity is there between 12 and 16 weeks, and also it has the advantage that it can spare doses which can be used for other people. So it addresses both the issues, that maintaining the immunogenicity and then sparing the doses which can be used for people who are waiting. We do have vaccine shortage, which we are trying to overcome, which will take time. So it has the advantage in both the ways. We need to understand this.
But Dr. Verma, I appreciate your point that you're making, that there is new data that is of course coming in, but at the same time, is this really new data? Because the UK has had a 12-week dosing regimen from the beginning.
Yeah, but the evidence earlier was not so strong, but now we have the better evidence to show. So this has the dual advantage. You maintaining the immunogenicity and you also sparing the doses which can be used for people who are waiting.
Right. Dr. Puri, if I can come back to you, the other big question of concern continues to remain the fact that we still don't know for sure whether the vaccines will work against the variant first found in India, the B1617. The World Health Organization in its weekly review has also said that it is uncertain on whether vaccines are going to be as effective against the new mutation. Are you concerned?
Obviously, see what is the basis of this or viral diseases, that these viruses mutate, and when they mutate, they sometimes mutate for the worse. So what has happened in this mutation is that there are few studies coming out that the efficacy of the present vaccines is not as great as the previous strain, as against the previous strain they were. So it will happen. What will happen in the long run is that we have to get booster doses of these vaccines every 6 months or a year for few years,
right?
So that we have to break the chain.
But anecdotally, are you seeing cases of reinfection?
Yes, we are seeing.
All right, and Dr. Mohan, are you seeing a similar trend in Chennai as well? Anecdotally, are you seeing people being reinfected?
Yes, of course. People who have actually had COVID virus the first wave, then post-vaccination, even then people are being tested positive for the second wave as well. The point of worry is that even many healthcare professionals, senior consultants, doctors, nurses, paramedics, everyone are at risk.
All right. Well, that continues to remain a cause of concern, but I think it's important what the doctor suggested at the very outset, that the vaccines don't guarantee you 100% protection, and therefore COVID-appropriate behavior has to be followed even after vaccination. We'll keep a close watch on all these developments. Thank you so much, doctors, for sparing your time and being with us on NDTV this morning.
Thank you.
Short break here. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Eid is being celebrated across the length and breadth of India. What we are seeing is security arrangements that have been put in place at Delhi's Jama Masjid. However, large crowds did gather to celebrate the festival at Amritsar.